I had a message sent to me. It was sent to me through something that kids call a DM, which stands for direct message on Twitter, meaning it's private. I read it. It's for my eyes only. It's not made public. Okay, great. If anybody doesn't know what a DM is, all right, we're all up to speed. But here's what the DM was. It was a copy and paste of a quote that Justin Gaethje had put out in reference to his fight coming up with Khabib. And Justin said, and I quote, "If he puts me on my back, I lose the fight. If he puts me on the fence, I lose the fight," end quote. Now, the person who sent it to me was coming from a stance of, okay, Gaethje's already sailed this one in. He's already laid it out for us. He's already making his excuse. Tear your ticket up, nothing to see here. I sure did not have that conclusion at all. For me, that was a very realistic answer. If Khabib pushes him into the fence one time, that doesn't mean he loses. If Khabib gets on top of him one time, that isn't what he loses. But I don't think that we need to take what he said quite that literal. What he's saying is, I need to stay off my back. And then he backed up one step further to something we've talked about over here to nausea, which is he doesn't get people to their back unless he gets their back on the fence first. All of Khabib's takedowns come up against the fence. I can only think of one guy, and I'm sure there is other. I can only think of one guy who he's ever taken down in the open, and it was the very first takedown he got against Conor McGregor. When you look at Khabib as one of the most dominant wrestlers in the history of the sport, which he just might be, against Conor McGregor, who's never had a wrestling match or even owns appropriate wrestling attire known as a singlet, headgear, and a pair of wrestling shoes. And Khabib had to work as hard as he had to work. And he had to transition and scramble and go from offense 1 to 2 to 3 before he finally got that takedown. I do think that it is very fair and very appropriate that Justin has identified Khabib does his best work once he gets you against the fence. I did not take this as a concession at all. I took it as a sense of urgency. I took it as Justin knowing full well when I go in there, I stay off the ground and I stay off the fence. Randy Couture didn't like to be on bottom. And the athletes he trained them position over submission, meaning stay off the bottom. And what Randy would do is he'd make it very simple. And he told me this before fights before. He said, the mat is hot. The mat is lava. If you go onto the mat, you need to imagine instantly that you are burning, that your back is burning. It is scalding hot, meaning get your ass up as quickly as you can. The mat is hot. The mat is lava. Don't stay on the mat. I'm extending Randy's philosophy, one, because it worked. This was 15 years ago. I still remember it. I go into fights and I still tell myself, mat's hot, stay off the mat, mat's hot. Gaethje's now extending that to the cage as well. Gaethje has the strength and the wrestling ability to avoid the cage. He has the strength and the wrestling ability to avoid the takedowns in large part. But he also possesses an ability to scramble and get up off the bottom, and I think that might be the part where he's shortchanging himself. That is going to be the hard part. Khabib is not laying on top of guys throwing punches. The intricacies to the techniques that Khabib is bringing to the table on top for ground and pound are things that I have never seen. I have never seen them aside from Khabib doing them. I pulled my own coach, Fabiano Scherner, aside, and I said, show me what Khabib's doing. He goes, yeah, I can do that. No problem. Here's what he does. He pushes you in the fence. He waits till you get your back up. He thinks you're in good position. He comes below the knee. That's where he scoops. He figure fours you. Then he steers you off the fence. Okay, great. But that's as close as I've ever been to actually being taught how to do that. He showed me this on Fight Week. Well, on Fight Week, I had my own match coming up. On Fight Week, all you have time to do is gain a little knowledge, visit a little bit philosophy, and then get your weight off. For me to be able to go out and implement something that I was showed on Fight Week is just not realistic. And I never did after that go back and work on it in the gym. So when I come to you and I tell you, quite literally, a guy who made a career, 22 plus years at ground and pound, to see a guy come in and do intricacies with some of his leg lockdowns, some of the securing of the leg as a way of trapping and holding his opponent in place, I'm coming to you with a very sincere statement. I've just simply never seen it. I had never seen some of the takedowns that Khabib was doing up against the fence. I finally went to Ben Askren and said, "Are you aware of this? Are you in a gym? Have any of your coaches showed you this?" He said, "I am in a gym. I am not aware, or I am in a gym and I am aware, and no coach has showed me. However, I have been watching it on tape and I've got it." Ben then made me a video, sent me the video. It was exactly what Khabib was doing. If I could stand up right now with a partner, I could show you. It's very simple. It takes practice. You've got to work. There's a special feel there, but Khabib is doing very special things once he gets you down, and to get you down once he gets you against the fence. I don't think that I'm bringing to you guys some kind of earth-shattering news. You've seen it happen as well. What I am bringing to you is the good news if you're Team Gaethje, is Gaethje has also identified it. I don't see him feathering his nest at all. I see him being very realistic. I don't have to worry about the jab and the cross as much. I know how to deal with some of that stuff. I know how to roll. I know how to bob, weave, and fire back. I don't see the leg kicks as a big threat. As a matter of fact, I'm very good at that weapon myself. I'm good at the wrestling. I'm good at hustling. I'm good at the scrambles. If he puts me in the fence or he puts me on my back, I got problems. I think that's wise. I think that's responsible. And I think he's right.